Will the zoning subcommittee please come to order? This is the zoning committee. I'll turn it over to Ashley, city clerk.
The zoning subcommittee is meeting on special permit application C-16-05, Dehon LLC, 72 Squire Road, seeking permission from the Revere City Council to reconstruct a nonconforming structure to a mixed-use, transit-oriented development with 8 residential units and 1 commercial unit at 17-19 Dehon Street.
Corey.
Good afternoon, councilors. My name is Corey Rhodes. I'm an attorney with D'Ambrosio Brown, LLP, 14 Proctor Avenue in Revere, and we represent Dehon LLC, the petitioner.
You just get it today?
We're here tonight on a special permit application for a non-conforming property at 17-19 Dehon Street. This is a property that has seen better days. We're asking to replace this dilapidated structure that has fortunately been the site of numerous safety concerns, vagrancy, and illicit drug use of late. And we want to replace that with this new mixed-use, transit-oriented development, brand new building with 8 residential units. These are micro units, studio and 1 bedrooms, and 1 commercial unit on the ground floor. This, as I said, was a transit-oriented development. We're literally a block away from the Revere Beach T Station, and the property is going to be specifically marketed to young professionals, people we see taking the train every single day, and biking to work, general commuters like that. The owner is going to be dedicated really to making a marketing plan and operating this building to be oriented to people taking the T. There have also been some special considerations that have gone into this property. Part of the rejuvenation of Shirley Avenue and Revere Beach, the mayor's requested that we had add a commercial component to this property. This is that ground floor unit to really kind of tie in, getting the sidewalks activated, getting people out and about, and hopefully rejuvenating the small park that's just across the street. Next, this property was specifically designed to be less dense than is traditionally required or allowed for under the ordinance. A building could have been 5 stories here, something that just would have looked out of place with the neighboring structures. And to keep with the feel of the neighborhood, the owner has opted for this proposal using a 3-story building and really thinks it's going to be a much better design, a much better feel for the neighborhood, and something that's going to just really improve the whole landscape. Like I said, this is a property that's really been on tough times of late, a lot of bad things happening here, and we think this is an excellent proposal to change the whole scenery and hopefully be a catalyst for further improvements in the neighborhood, and that's why we're asking for your support.
Thank you, Corey. Any opponents to it? There being any, since there's no opponents, any councilors like to speak? I'll go right to left. Arthur?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At the public hearing a couple of weeks back, the ward council was very much in favor of this, saying
Absolutely.
that it would enhance the neighborhood, and certainly he would have a recognition of that, not only being the ward councilor, but he lives right across the street from this property. And so the neighbors also came and offered testimony in that evening, to which they all stated in unison that they were all in favor of this project because it would enhance the neighborhood and make a blighted property back on the proper scale the way it should be. So when it comes time for a vote, Mr. Chairman, I'll be voting favorably for this.
Thank you, Council. Council President Janino, would you like to speak?
Sure. I think it's a great project, and it's great to see the neighborhood in favor of a proposal, and I think it'll be much needed in an area that definitely needs some more commercial and residential development.
Thank you, Council President. Councillor Keefe?
Thank you, Chairman. As we saw the presentation, I think it's a beautiful looking property, and certainly will serve the the neighborhood well, especially considering the property right now is quite blighted. So look forward to seeing the property, this move forward.
Councillor McKenna?
Yes, thank you. I think it's a start to bigger and better things for Shirley Ave. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Councillor Patch?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I go along with what my colleague, Councillor Granasso said. During the public hearing, the Ward 2 councillor spoke very highly of this project, and seeing that he lives in the neighborhood. As a ward councillor, I usually try to stay with the opinion of the ward councillor, but also knowing the developer in this project. He has done tremendous work here on several buildings on Broadway and Squire Road, and I know we'll get superior work done on this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Zambuto?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I did go to the public meeting of the neighborhood. Some of my colleagues already mentioned, but this will totally transform that neighborhood. I'm looking for this to be the first piece that brings that whole neighborhood into a true transit-oriented development. This is steps away from the train station, and you're not many more steps away from the America's first public beach.
Right.
So this area is so underdeveloped, it's unbelievable, and I believe this will be the catalyst to get it going. So I'm certainly in favor of this, and I would be even if nobody else was.
I get that. Councillor Novoselsky?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I've been talking to Mr. Russo on this since day one. When he came up with this design, I was flabbergasted of how good it looks, and like that word, and how it fits into the neighborhood. You know, it's a little commercial piece, you know, with 2 studio apartments, 6 micro units, and granted there is no parking there, but we're looking outside the box here. And we have to do that around the neighborhoods, especially in my neighborhood. Like Councilor Zambuto just said, it's a couple hundred feet away from the T, from a couple hundred more feet to the beach. And I think it's a perfect spot. They got a nice park across the street that could be utilized with the retail space, and I think it's a perfect fit. We're talking about putting some new trees in there and having his bicycle racks in the building, and I just think it's a real good fit, and I will definitely be in favor of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. We have some recommendations that the city clerk will read into the record.
These recommendations are from the Site Plan Review Committee. Number 1, a street and sidewalk bond must be placed on file with the DPW to secure performance for the installation of utilities including sewer, water and drainage, construction of concrete sidewalks and granite curbing, roadway reconstruction, construction of driveways, construction of retaining walls if applicable, and landscaping with respect to the construction of mixed-use 8-unit residential and commercial structure at 17-19 Dehon Street. A copy of the street and sidewalk bond must be filed with the building inspector prior to the issuance of a building permit. 2, a sewer connection and water connection permit must be obtained from the DPW for all new construction. The city engineer and DPW superintendent must review and approve the proposed sewer service and water service plan. 3, based on the city's sewer mitigation inflow infiltration removal requirement, a sewer mitigation fee in the amount of $11,440 shall be paid to the City of Revere in 2 installments, 50% prior to the issuance of a building permit and 50% prior to the issuance of an occupancy permit. This fee is based on the city's II formula of 110 gallons per bedroom times 10 times $1.30. 4, the installation of new concrete sidewalks is required along the full frontage of the property on North Shore Road and Dehon Street, along with streetscape improvements and the planting of 3 street trees along Dehon Street frontage, and 3 street trees along the North Shore Road frontage of the building. 5, bike racks and bicycle storage space shall be included within the building design. And 6, final evaluation plans and exterior building material shall be subject to approval by the Site Plan Review Committee.
Mr. Rhodes, is that all acceptable?
That's all fine.
Okay, can you enter that into the official record? I'd like to have a roll call. It's unanimous, but Councilor Ganasso,
Yes.
Council President,
Yes.
Councilor Keefe,
Yes.
Councilor McKenna.
Yes.
Ira, Charlie, Tony.
I'm not a committee, but yes.
Yeah, I know you're not in the committee, but again, this is a unanimous vote, and I, for one,
I
think
vote
it's-
yes,
Yeah, I know
since
you
I
do.
am on the committee.
I know, for one, I look favorable to this building going up. The builder does a tremendous job within the city of Revere, and it'll be a quality project without question. So this concludes the meeting.